tell us what your first impressions of Mina were.
She seemed nice. She'd just moved up from London. I remember telling her that things move at a different pace up here. You know, being part of a small surgery, we all get to really know each other, like a family.
And she became part of this family, did she?
Yeah.
Did you know her well?
Well, I thought I did.
Andrea Tate lived with you, is that correct?
Yeah. And Ben.
After Andrea's death, do you recall Mina's behavior changing in any way?
No, not that I remember.
And during the time that you worked together, did you personally see any sign that Mina could be capable of the horrific things that she's been accused of?
No, nothing at all. No, but that's the thing about compulsive liars, isn't it? I mean, they hide in plain sight. Until they're caught red-handed. Well, she had us all believing she was pregnant. But turns out that was just a pack of lies. It was just some ploy to manipulate Liam or Billy or goodness knows what.
How were you alerted to the fact that Mina was apparently never pregnant?
Well, Liam told me. He did some digging and he found out.
You just took his word on that, did you?
Yeah, of course I did. I trust Liam.
Yet you never saw any actual proof that what he said was true.
Well, no, I suppose not.
Would you agree that what Dr. Kavanagh said to you during that conversation changed the way that you saw Mina?
Well, yes. But obviously, after, when I heard about everything else that she'd done, it all slotted into place. She's a monster.
And yet, prior to Dr. Kavanagh's intervention, you considered her to be kind and supportive and part of the work family.
Yeah.
You've been most helpful, Miss Posner. Thank you. No further questions. We'd like to go back to Thursday, the 25th of November, 2021, the day that Ben Tucker died. Olivia Flaherty and Ben Tucker argued at Hawksford Outdoor Pursuits that afternoon. You arrived on the scene shortly afterwards. Why were you there?
Ben was being blamed for the survival event disaster. I heard he'd broken into Hawksford, desperate to clear his name. So I went there to stop him from doing anything stupid.
And what did you find?
When I got there, I found him trying to get into the till. I said, "Ben, what are you doing? It looks like you're robbing the place." I had no idea he'd come to blows with Liv moments before. But he was still so angry. Like the red mist had descended, and he didn't know who I was or what he was doing. I said, "Ben, it's me, Mina, your friend." But I couldn't get through to him.
What was he saying?
That he wanted to get back at them. That he hated Jay Sharma. And he wasn't going to let me ruin this for him. It was then that I realized I'd walked into a really bad situation.
What happened next?
I tried to leave, but he wouldn't let me. So I ran. I ran as fast as I could, but he chased me outside and he grabbed me. He put his hands around my throat and started to squeeze, and I knew if I had to defend myself, or that's it. I'd die. So I grabbed this oar to protect myself, and I hit him. I don't know how many times. And he let go, fell to the ground, and he wasn't moving. And right there, in that moment, my whole world fell apart. Like something snapped in my mind, and I was outside of myself.
What happened next?
I ran. I got out of there and never said a word of it to anyone. But after that, all the awful things I did to my sister at the wedding, to poor Vinny, I wasn't myself. I wasn't in control anymore. So I'm glad it's over. I'm glad I'm here. I can get the help I need now. I've admitted to the things I did, and I'll face whatever punishment I get. But I'm not a cold-blooded killer. I'm not. I just wanted to survive. Liam was grieving for Leyla. He was a broken man, and I was broken too. After Ben, I was in a really vulnerable place, and Liam could see that. So he started flirting with me, pressuring me for sex, and before I knew what was happening, we were having an affair. I knew it was wrong, but when I broke things off, he got really nasty with me.
Why?
Because of his guilt. He'd only married Leyla a few months earlier, but his guilt over Leyla is what really ate him up. He let her down as a father, and he needed somebody to blame. Liam's not who people think he is. He's cruel, controlling, and I was so scared. I thought he was gonna kill me. Then, I found out I was pregnant. I did about 6 pregnancy tests to be sure, all positive. It was either Liam or Billy's. I don't know. I didn't have a chance to register the pregnancy because, on Christmas Day, after the pub explosion, I lost my baby. That was the last straw for me. I lost control, and everything after that is a blur. I remember Liam started telling people I was never pregnant, trying to paint me as a liar so no one would believe me if I spoke up about our affair. He turned everyone against me, even my own sister.
Gloves belonging to you with traces of Ben Tucker's blood.
Of course his blood is on them. I had to fight for my life.
I put it to you that Ben, like Leanna and Andrea, caught you out, and you snuck in wearing gloves to avoid leaving fingerprints.
It was cold that day.
And you beat him to death in a violent and prolonged attack to silence him.
He attacked me. It was self-defense.
Did he hurt you?
Of course. He was trying to kill me.
There's no mention of any injuries in your medical records.
I'm a nurse. I can look after myself.
This court has heard from numerous people that Ben was a good-natured, kind man, not this angry monster that you've depicted.
He'd been falsely accused by Jay and violently attacked by Liv.
What do you remember about the day of Dawn Taylor and Billy Fletcher's wedding?
Very little. When I was told what I did, I couldn't believe it. I clearly wasn't in control of what I was doing.
So, it was just the random acts of someone deeply traumatized.
Exactly.
But when you look at the details of what you actually did that day, the amount of planning involved in numerous kidnappings, drugging, acquiring a gun, carjacking, attempted murder, doesn't seem like the random acts of someone out of control. In fact, it looks like the detailed, premeditated work of someone very much in control. I'm sorry, Miss Jutler. Your story just isn't stacking up at all. This alleged breakdown doesn't explain what happened to Andrea Tate and Leyla Kavanagh.
Neither of those had anything to do with me.
Yet somehow items belonging to them found their way into your box of trophies.
I picked up some things I found lying around. Doesn't make me a murderer.
Yet you still admitted to these crimes.
Manpreet made that up after everything I put her through. I don't blame her for having a grudge. Doesn't mean it's true.
So you simply fell foul to a series of incriminating coincidences.
Let's be real. What happened to Liana was no coincidence.
Sorry? What do you mean?
She wasn't a happy girl. Her mum was dead, her stepmom was a paedophile, and her dad is a lying, womanizing control freak with a horrible temper. I don't know why she was on that bridge that day, but if you ask me, she was there for a reason.
That reason being?
To end her suffering. To kill herself.
That's not true, that's...
You are a lying bitch. Don't believe her, please. Do not believe a word of it.
Sit down in my courtroom.
She never would have killed herself, you know? I mean, she had a whole life ahead of her.
Security, please remove her from the courtroom.
Yeah, all right. Look what you've done to him, Mina. You killed her. You killed his little girl.